What is up, everybody? It's time to do another Top 5 Friday. I've in the past done videos on what games I know are kind of bad, but for whatever reason I still like even to this day. Blinded by nostalgia. But what about games in the past that I really liked, but now they've kind of lost their luster a little bit for me? Let's talk about games that, for me, personally, haven't aged well. Obviously, this is not a definitive list, so if you're coming here for the first time thinking like, those games have aged perfectly well, this is my opinion, my list. I'm not saying it's universal, so just tap the brakes. Anyway, this video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Oh, it's Friday night. I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. I could sit here and pick my nose while I watch a brand new video. Whoa, Top 5 Friday, Top 5 Friday tonight.
Alright, before I even start with this list, I need to let you guys know, I'm not saying I hate any of these games or even dislike them all that much. All this is are games that I really liked back whenever either I rented them or had them in one case, and now I just rarely ever play them because they don't hit me the way they used to back then. But I don't hate them, okay? So, send your hate mail to me. Say, do people still do that? Do they send actual letters to, we have a P.O. box, send your hate mail. You don't like Excitebike? Yeah, number 5 anyways, Excitebike. Yes, I like Excitebike, but I don't like it the way a lot of people like it. This is a game, an original black box game that came out on the NES around the time when the NES came out. I don't know, within like a few weeks or months or days or whatever. It's a black box game. We all know what black box games are. But anyway, it's an Excitebike game. It's look, you got a motorbike and you're jumping the ramps, trying to not let your bike overheat. And you're just trying to do it in the quickest time possible. Back then, when the NES was new and the greatest thing on the block, and there were very few games for it, man, something like this, a really cool dirt bike racing game, that was fun. Everyone had fun with this. I had fun with this. I didn't play it all that much. I don't have a whole lot of nostalgia for this. But now it's like, after like a couple of minutes, I'm done. As an adult, I'm just not getting the same sort of fulfillment out of playing or an 8-bit dirt bike game like I did in a room full of people, super excited to play whatever Nintendo game you could get your hands on. All right, so this is a game that I actually owned. I didn't own very many NES games. I had 4, maybe, well, 5 if you include Duck Hunt. But this was one of them, and that's Air Fortress. At the time, this was a very unique game. There was nothing like it that I had or really rented. It's a horizontal side-scrolling shooter. What's unique about this game, though, is once you get past the horizontal shooting part, you have to go into this Air Fortress, and you have this jetpack. You have to fly around, figure out where I guess you would call them the core of the base. Essentially, when you blow that up, the entire Air Fortress blows up. So your mission is to go and navigate this maze, get in there, blow it up, and you have just a little bit of time once you blow that thing up to get the hell out of there, or you're gonna go up with it. You're gonna get killed. Around the 4th stage, it really starts to up the difficulty, and it does this through misdirection. The whole thing becomes much more of an intricate maze that you don't know where the hell you're going, and that's okay when you're trying to find the core, but once you blow it up and you have multiple paths to get out, and you only have a finite amount of time to get out, and it's not a lot of time, a lot of times you'll find yourself going the wrong way or not knowing where the hell you go, and then you go up in flames along with the Air Fortress. It's not a bad game, it just gets a little frustrating, and I really, really enjoyed it. Maybe that was in small part because I didn't have that many NES games. Most of those games we played, we rented. So I got a lot of time with this, and I had to force myself to like it, essentially. And but now when I play this, it's just frustrating, and I don't really have much fun with it. There's more problems than I remember there being as a kid. For instance, on the horizontal shooter stages, sometimes it's really hard to know what you actually can fly over, touch, and what is actually an obstacle that's gonna kill you. It still has some playability, it has some amount of fun, but I don't play this nearly as much as I did as a kid. Now, I know some people are gonna be like, you're contradicting yourself. This was on a list of top 5 gaming rentals that you really liked growing up. Well, yeah, it was, but I liked it. I really had a good time with it back then. These days, it's a test in patience. I still get a little bit of enjoyment out of it, but that's Super Smash TV. You go through the first stage, you fight the first boss, and then right about then, I'm kind of done and I don't want to play anymore. Back then when we rented this, man, it was such an amazing Super Nintendo game with how action-packed it was. You could play 2 players simultaneously. It was a lot of fun. Other than the nostalgia I have for it, it kind of hasn't aged well. It's just so repetitive over and over and over and over again. Maybe I'm just not a fan of gauntlet-style games where you're just trying to kill hordes and hordes and hordes of enemies. Just put 2 fresh batteries on that light. There's something about, like me, that like my body ions drain batteries and I don't know what it is. It's just a thing that constantly happens. 2 brand new batteries. And that thing's been on 15 minutes. And don't even get me started on the first stage boss. That is one of the most annoying boss fights in video game history. It is excruciating. And it makes you want to pull your hair out. That sucks when you have, a game that you really considered one of your favorite for a while, but then the older you get and the more it goes on, the more you just, maybe it's you change as a person. Maybe I just don't have the patience as I once did. Which is saying something because I've never really had a lot of patience. Yeah, it's Super Smash TV. It's okay for about 10 minutes, and then I'm kind of over it. All right, well, I guess I gotta change the battery now. Stupid bullshit. Gotta be fucking shit. Number 2 on the list is Bubsy on the Super Nintendo. This was a rental that I rented multiple times. This was later in my high school years, probably like senior year when I actually rented this game. And I was really super into it. What the funny thing is, my girlfriend at the time, she was into it too, and she loved this game, and we would play it together. Yeah, I had a girlfriend during this for like a week until she realized what a horrible mistake she had made. But anyway, for that week though, we were playing a lot of Bubsy, and I really liked it. I thought it was a fun platformer. For some reason, I was kind of addicted to it there for a while. Now when I play this, I just want to take it and smash it up against the wall. I didn't smash it up against the wall, I smashed it up against the couch because I didn't really want to destroy the cart, but I'll put like a destroying, shattering sound effect there so you'll think that I did, but now I just ruined it because I said that. When you play the game, now you're just gonna be frustrated. It does have really good graphics, they kind of pop, the colors are really good. It's got that 90s attitude, with the mascot thing, the tood. It's got that going for it. I mean, you can't have a mascot in the 90s on a video game and have it not have tood, so there's plenty of tood involved.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's just kind of bland and dusty and boring when you play it now. You look at this and you're like, this is nothing special at all, and it just makes you want to play something way better. And on this entire list, I could probably say that this particular game is really the one that comes closest to me saying I can say that I dislike it. I never play it these days. The only reason I'm playing it now is because I have to record the footage for this video. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be playing it right now. One of the things that drives me insanely crazy about it is that it's one-hit deaths. There's no reason why a platformer like this should be one-hit deaths. It should have at least a heart or two to take a hit. The main thing is the controls, they suck. Why did I like this game back then? I don't know. That's a very, very good question. Alright, so number 1 on the list is I was looking forward to this one. I was like, Nintendo Power, make this game come out quicker because you're teasing me too much with all these awesome photos. And when it came out, I was actually impressed. I wasn't disappointed. It's got that amazing FX chip graphics. That's right, Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. I had never played anything quite like this on the Super Nintendo and Nintendo, obviously. Maybe close to something like that in the arcades, and maybe something a little close to that called Star Glider on the Atari ST, but this was head and shoulders above that. The graphics were so much better. The music, the first stage music in this game just pumps you up. The game just made you feel like you were actually in a 3D combat situation, whether it be on a planet or space. It really just gave you that immersive feel of being in a pilot fighting some kind of a battle. And that was just something that I didn't see anywhere else. But it wasn't just the technical aspects that made this game great. I mean, obviously the music as well. The gameplay was great. It really felt like you were in control. It felt fun to actually shoot stuff. You felt like you were on target and were able to control it really well. And the different environments and the characters, it just came together and formed a really enjoyable game. But now, going back and playing it now, it's not as fun as it was. This is definitely one of these games, when I think of games that kind of aged poorly, this is number one on the list, just because of how technology has, advanced in terms of these types of games. Side-scrolling games like Castlevania and Mario, the technology hasn't advanced so far that makes those types of games obsolete. In a way, this is kind of obsolete now. And I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me in that, and that's fine. But in my opinion, you get more fun out of playing a more updated version of this. But back when this was new, you couldn't have dragged me away from it. Now it's like, I put it on for 5-10 minutes and play through a little bit of it, and I'm good to go for a while. Now, as I said before, this video has been brought to you by Squarespace, a powerful and beautiful online platform from which you can create your own websites. Through Squarespace, you can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content. Manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights, all in one easy-to-use platform. With Squarespace, you can create your own community that supports threaded comments, likes, and replies. It has amazing, powerful blogging tools that allows you to categorize, schedule, and share posts. They also have Squarespace extensions that use third-party tools to help you with things like bookkeeping and inventory, things that make your life a whole lot easier. And you can use your website to integrate with all your social media platforms so you can get all your content shared out by your followers. Go to squarespace.com to start your free trial, and when you are ready to launch, go to squarespace/gamechasers and you can get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. You can click the link in the description below as well. All right, that's the video. Bikini, 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 bikini. Bikini, 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 bikini,